I
did?
said, I'm always ready for you, Jillian. Like that, it's like, I'm trying to play it, because when I was doing improv, we would try to do different voices like that. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, Nathan, how are ya?
Hey, I'm doing great, Jillian.
Good. Did you get a chance to read that email that the McGruff Fulfillment Department sent you after you requested those kits?
Yeah, I briefly looked over it.
Okay, so you already read up on them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys are familiar with the union and what they're doing with the program?
Yeah.
All right, well, let me just give you a little bit of information just in case. All right, just so you know, in order for us to take care of this for you virtually, which we're doing right now, I need to be able to see both of you. So if y'all need to go, to the restroom or anything, that's fine. I'll hang on here and then we can resume. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, all right. So Jamie and you are both there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm so happy that I even made it here today. They so keep us extremely busy. I'm the rep that handles the permanent benefits for the unions in this area. I don't even know if you're familiar with the unions like the firemen, the teachers, veterans, policemen, but I'm sure that they have the best benefits around, right?
Yeah, I've heard
Okay. But you've also heard, and I'm sure that you also have your own benefits.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure do.
But you do know that once you leave your job 31 days after, or you change careers, retire, those kind of things, those benefits are gone, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, not only that, but you know what? Their benefits are so amazing, and you just can't get them through work. So, what the International Union of Police is doing in order to raise awareness for that child safe program is they're going to allow any family who applies for those kits to receive some additional benefits from the police union at no cost. So they also allow for open enrollment for the same permanent benefits that the police are using to protect their own families. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So now I do not I do need to let you know these benefits are really hard to get into. So I can't make any promises, but I'm gonna do the best that I can to figure it out, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm here for two reasons. One is to deliver those child safe ID kits, which I'm here for, and then that family care package. All right, and then two, the most important reason I'm here is to see if you can actually qualify for those same permanent benefits that all the police and firemen have. All right, but I do need to let you know it's very difficult to qualify for those, as I've said before. So if you are able to, it's a one-time thing. So we're going to have to do this today, all right?
Okay.
All right. And since you're not actually in the police union, that's the most important reason we have to do it today. So, okay, here are those child safe ID kits that I talked to you about. All right. This is so important when your child goes missing. You've heard of the Amber Alert, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, these kids have everything that the police need in order to issue those Amber Alerts. And according to the FBI, 93% of those children that go missing are never found alive within the first 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's scary. I know. So you can see how important these are, right?
Yes.
All right. So here's how we're going to fill them out. Okay. All right, now the International Union of Police is one of the largest unions in the world. They've endorsed each of these kits. These kits are so important because when your child ever goes missing or is abducted, these kits could literally change and save a child's life. All right, Nathan and Jamie, they definitely need your help here. The police union has asked American Income to get a child safe kit in every parent's hands. Too many kids are not protected with these kits. So they're asking that everyone hang on. Sorry.
It's okay.
You do have to qualify. The parents need to be 18 years or older. They need to live in Arizona, New Mexico, or Texas and not be in jail.
Yes,
All right.
that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
Mhm.
All right. So, Jamie, you said that your sister has children. So, what's her name?
Her name is Beth.
Okay, great. And do you have a brother?
No.
Okay. What about you, Nathan?
Yeah, I have an older brother and sister, and another sister that's younger.
Okay, let me go ahead and gather those
Mhm.
numbers. And what do they do for a living?
My older brother and sister are self-employed, and actually all three of them are self-employed. They all own their own
Okay.
businesses.
Okay, and what about your kids' best friends? Who are their parents, if you don't mind me asking? And I'd like to get their numbers too, so they can take advantage of this.
Okay, probably Mike and Linda. And
Great.
yeah, I don't know anybody. How about you, Jamie? She says her friends.
Okay, so Nathan, you do have a will set up, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, this family information guide, it's not actually a will, but it's so important to fill out because this is what gets your family started when you die. Okay?
Mhm.
After you fill this out, you want to put this in a really safe place at home. There's 4 major sections in this that I want to go over with you. It's similar to the will kit. The vital statistics are going to go here on the top. This is the person to be notified, okay? This is the most important part. Millions of dollars go unclaimed in life insurance and benefits each year because either the family doesn't know that the benefits exist, they don't know how to make a claim, or the company can't actually find the beneficiary.
Yeah.
So what they say is, we're going to list the top 5 local people who are going to be there for you and your family when an emergency or a death happens, okay?
Mhm.
So who are you going to call during the emergency? We're going to put that right here.
Okay.
So number 1, 2.
Great.
All right. Number 2, it's going to be your estate information. You have life insurance, correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm sure it's through work, and if that's the case, make sure that you put it here in pencil, just because it's temporary, all right?
That makes sense.
Okay,
Mhm.
but if you qualify for the permanent police unit benefits, we're gonna write them here in pen, just because
Okay.
that's gonna be forever, all right? And they know, your family's gonna know that they protect you for life. Number 3 is gonna be actually your financial information. So is that a bank or a credit union?
Bank.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. So that's where we're going to put this here. We're going to list it so that your family has access to your funds when
Okay,
something
great.
happens to you.
Okay.
Lastly is going to be your funeral. Okay.
Mhm.
Have you ever had to plan a funeral, Nathan or Jamie?
No.
All right. Well, have you decided, do you want a cremation or a burial?
I don't know. I think we're undecided about that.
Okay. Well, either way, it's going to be expensive. So remind me before I go. Part of that police union permanent benefit program, it is going to pay off your entire cremation or your burial. Okay.
Wow, that's crazy.
But we're going to have to qualify.
Oh,
So
okay.
let me come back to that. All right. So you do see how important it is.
Yeah.
All right. So since you guys are already now a member in good standing, the union discount card and family info guide that I just explained to you automatically is going to be extended to your top key people here in the local area, the ones that don't have children. Okay.
Okay.
The company has said, in order for your family and friends to receive these benefits, there are a few rules. They have to be 18 years and older,
Mhm.
living in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas,
Yep.
and can't be in jail.
Okay.
All right. So, Nathan, you said your parents don't have young children.
Nope.
All right. So, we're going to start with them. So your mom, did you say her name is Shirley?
Yep,
All right, great. And your dad?
Wayne
Okay. Shirley and Wayne, they live?
in Indiana.
Okay, perfect. They live here.
They don't live here.
Okay. All right. Who lives here?
Who lives here? Nobody in my family. I have a few friends though.
All right. Well, it's going to be super important that we let your family and friends know who I am. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in fact, Jamie or Nathan, which one of you does the most texting?
She does.
All right, Jamie, I'm going to send you a quick text. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to ask you, can you go ahead and forward that to the people that we talked about?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, before I go any further, you're not in the union.
Nope.
So these benefits are still private.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're saying is you don't already have them. So basically, number one, you need them. And number two, if you don't take care of them now, you probably never will. So let's go ahead and take care of it. All right?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you just a few pre-qualifying questions, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
All right. So have you ever had a DUI or any arrests?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Any tobacco, nicotine, marijuana?
Definitely marijuana. Lots and lots of marijuana. Just joking.
All right. Well, do you take any kind of medication that we need to know about?
No.
All right. Any health issues like stroke, cancer, tumor, diabetes, sleep apnea, depression?
Nothing I know of.
Okay. And anyone in your house on Medicaid or Access?
No.
All right. So. Okay. So let me ask you this. How many hours are you working every week?
60.
Oh, wow. Okay. Have you heard of that hour of power philosophy?
No.
All right. Well, it's that old union principle that states that you need to set aside the first 2 hours of your wages to protect your family and their future. So I do see a lot of families who, if you're like most of them, we waste a lot of our time and money on different things, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So we're not setting aside even close to enough for their family and their union.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we do as union members is set aside the first 2 hours of the wages every week for the permanent benefit package.
Yeah.
The reason we do only 2 is because the lifestyle never changes. Don't you agree?
I do agree.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if you work, you said 60?
Yeah.
So if you work 58 next week,
Yeah.
you're not going to notice the difference, correct?
You're probably right. I won't.
All right. So what we're going to do going forward is 58 hours of your week can go towards anything. And then those other 2 hours, that's going to be during your permanent benefits. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Awesome. So I'm going to show you what setting aside those hours is going to do for you. All right.
Thank
So
you.
the average family does about 40 to 60 a week. Okay.
Yeah.
You can do more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But as long as you're doing at least 1 hour, you should be okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Great. All right. So let me ask you this, Nathan. What they're concerned about is these 3 major problems: accidental injuries, final expenses, and paycheck protection. The first problem that they're concerned with is your injuries. Have either one of you thought about what's going to happen if you're injured in an accident?
I don't think we've really talked about that.
All right, well, they realize that you have medical insurance and workers' comp, but what they're concerned with is your loss of wages and other expenses that start adding up when you get injured. Nathan, so when you end up in the hospital, even though your medical bills are taken care of, no one's going to be there to pay your paycheck, correct?
Yeah, I don't think I've really thought about that before, but you're right.
And Jamie, when you get that call, obviously you won't be working either, will you?
No.
Because you're going to be right there next to Nathan's side. Well, God forbid something actually happens to the kids. Then nobody's working, right?
That's right.
Right. So Nathan, when you and Jamie or any of the kids get hurt, what we're going to do is we're going to send you $150 for just taking the time to get their injury looked at. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's for any kind of accident, whether you scrape your knee, stitches on or off the job. That money comes to you there in the home. The only exception is when you have to actually stay in the hospital.
That's nice.
Then they're actually going to send you $300 per day up to a year.
That's crazy.
That ends up being $2,100 per week. So that's over $109,000 per year.
Wow.
All right. So how would that extra $2,100 a week help your family when you're in the hospital?
Immensely.
Right? Exactly. Of course it will. So the only exception is that when you have to stay in intensive care, they're going to send you an extra $600. And the reason for that is normally if you're in intensive care, it's a life or death. Okay.
Right.
So how many a month would that budget cover for $8,400?
I don't know. Just one, right?
Wow. So now the second problem is they are concerned with is your final expenses. Now, Nathan, who's going to be responsible for taking care of your funeral and expenses when something happens to you?
I don't know. We haven't really talked about that. Probably my wife.
All right, Nathan, let me ask you, have either one of you had to actually plan a funeral?
No.
The reason I ask is it's a very serious problem. Now, the concern is not the fact that you are going to die, because we all will, but when you die. Someone in our family has to face a funeral director immediately. Funeral directors these days require all or the bulk of the money up front on the spot before they actually start doing anything. Did you actually realize that?
No, I never have.
A lot of people don't.
It's kind of shocking.
Right. So while your family is waiting for the life insurance to come in, who has to take care of the things in the meantime?
I don't know. I guess we do. My spouse.
Exactly. That's right. That's the family, you, the spouse, Jamie.
Yeah.
Definitely. So what's going to happen is you either have to take it out of savings, or worse, you have to borrow it.
That's right.
Okay. So now what they've done is set up the freedom of choice. This is going to take care of your final expenses. If you qualify, each of you will receive your own certificate that looks just like this.
Okay.
Now, they call it freedom of choice because it's good at any funeral home.
Wow.
The way this works is when something happens to you, Nathan or Jamie, you take this certificate to any funeral home you choose.
Wow.
When the funeral director looks at you and says, "I'm really sorry for your loss," Nathan's funeral will be $15,000. How would you like to take care of that today? At that point, you're going to say, well, Nathan has freedom of choice. Everything is taken care of from that point on.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, how does that make you feel knowing that your family financially will never have to worry about this?
Very good.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Mhm.
Great. Well, Jamie, in your case, they've also set aside 15,000. So, Jamie and Nathan, isn't it nice to finally have this taken care of for you and your family?
Yes, it is.
Exactly. So each of the kids are also covered for the $10,000 benefit that can be converted to 50,000 at the age of 21, regardless of their health or habits. So they can keep that for the rest of their life. That's pretty cool, huh?
It is.
Awesome. So now the only exception to this, when you die before the age of 65, it will typically be in some kind of accident, correct?
You most likely.
Right. So what's going to happen, Nathan, is not only will they immediately take care of your final expenses, but they're going to send your family an additional $50,000 to help you out during this time because it's abrupt and unexpected. When you die in an accident, what kind of accident do you think it will be?
I don't know. Never thought about it before.
Well, normally it's a car accident, okay?
I guess you're right.
And so what they're going to do there is send the additional 50,000 and take care of all those final expenses.
Oh, that's nice.
And if and when traveling on a common carrier like a bus, plane, train, they're also going to send an additional 100,000 to the family. And each of your children are also covered for those same accidental deaths, but just at a discounted rate. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Third problem they're concerned about is your paycheck. So, Nathan, you're on your way home for work, you get killed in a car accident, and you pass away from a stroke or heart attack. Is your paycheck going to keep coming to you?
No.
Absolutely not, right?
That's right.
It vanishes just like that. But taking care of the family, putting food on the table, paying the bills, all those things pretty much stay the same, correct?
That is true.
Right. So, Jamie, what are you going to do? The bills keep coming in month after month, and Nathan's unfortunate paycheck is gone. But let me ask you, you do have life insurance, correct?
Yeah.
Great. So hopefully that's like 10 times your annual income, maybe like 700 to 900,000. That's awesome. But Nathan, you do realize that the police department also realizes that you do have this, but here's what's going to happen. All right. Your family is going to have to tap into that immediately. All right. So, first, for the reimbursement of your burial, all your miscellaneous expenses, and then because your paychecks have stopped coming in. So you're going to have to keep dipping into those and pay the bills to put the food on the table. And then a year or two later goes by, and what's going to happen?
I'm covering our money.
Exactly. All that money is going to be gone. So here's your paycheck protection. Nathan, when something happens to you, they're going to start sending Jamie a paycheck the very next month and every single month after that for the minimum of 1 full year.
Yeah.
Now, the reason they do at least a year is because you need some time to adjust, right, Jamie?
That's right.
Exactly. So, what they're going to do in your case, Nathan, when you die, they're going to start sending Jamie $5,000 a month.
Wow.
For 2 years for any cause of death. And the same Jamie, when something happens to you, they're going to send Nathan the same thing. So, Jamie, you're going to be in a really good position that when something happens and you take that money you received, you can get it invested in your future, education, retirement. Exactly. Correct?
Yes.
All right. So, does this all make sense to you?
So far.
All right, sounds good. And then when Nathan happens to you, you're going to receive the same thing when Jamie dies, okay?
Got gambling money now.
So. I'm actually on this. Yeah, go ahead.
If you want us to do